All companies invest heavily in innovation, but their initiatives often get bogged down in the idea phase. They take longer than planned, they cost more than planned, and they often don't yield the expected result. Today, we're going to talk about what is the innovation process and why do product managers need one. What we find interesting is that 80% of the population believes that innovation is an art and can never be a science. We want to dispel that myth and show you the benefits of turning innovation from an art form to a science. If you'd like to go deeper into this topic and learn more about jobs to be done and outcome driven innovation, you can download my free book here at jobstobedonebook.com. Let's jump into it. I want to start by defining what innovation is. The innovation process is everything before the development process, and it's important that we draw a distinction between these two. The output of the innovation process is the input into the development process. Now, companies go about the innovation process in two ways. They often go with the ideas first approach to innovation, which is to come up with ideas without a complete understanding of customer needs, and then put together a prototype, go test it with customers, get feedback, come back, do another product iteration, test it with customers, get feedback, and go through this iterative process with the hope of devising a solution that will address enough unmet customer needs where the product will win in the marketplace. Following this approach causes companies to really get bogged down in the ideas phase of the innovation process. They end up spending more than expected. It ends up taking more time than expected, and they rarely get the results that they hope for when following the ideas first approach. Which leads us to the second option. We're going to come at this in a unique way. We're going to define innovation as a process. It's the process of devising solutions that address unmet customer needs. By defining innovation as the process of devising solutions that address unmet needs, you can narrow down the number of inputs into the process to just two: solutions and needs in its most simplistic form. This means uncovering the customer's unmet needs, coming up with solutions that address them before you go into the development process. The way I like thinking about this is, what are the chances that your idea will address the top 15 unmet needs in the market if you don't know what those unmet needs are? And the answer, of course, is very slim. But what are the chances that you can conceptualize a solution that will address the top 15 unmet needs in the market if you know precisely what those unmet needs are? And the answer is much higher. And that's how you bring predictability to the innovation process. What we find is that the biggest reason products fail in the market is because they fail to address a customer need. Why companies are struggling with success is that over 90% of product teams don't agree on what a need is. Marketing talks about needs as solutions and features. Development talks about needs as specifications and requirements. People talk about them as value drivers, expectations, desires. There's no science behind what a need is. And this is why the innovation process often fails. Now, if we don't have an agreed on definition of what customers' needs are, how are we going to combine together the right processes? Is voice of the customer the best input for customer needs, or is it user stories? Should we combine it with lean startup or conjoint? Making these decisions is absolutely critical. And rather than cobbling together a solution that tries to get the entire job done, what innovators need is a single process that gets the entire job done, one that's connected from beginning to end with a deep understanding of what the customer's needs are. When we talk about a great innovation process, what do we mean? Well, we mean an innovation process that provides product teams with a unifying language of innovation, so they all agree on what a need is. They all agree on what a market is. They all agree on what segments are. It's a process that actually works, one that has an 86% success rate, not an 86% failure rate. It's a process that aligns teams around value creation efforts so companies can truly become customer centric. And most importantly, it's a process that enables you to conceptualize solutions that you know with a high degree of certainty are going to win in the marketplace before you start developing them. So you're not putting products into the development process that are going to fail. This saves companies a tremendous amount of time, money, and effort, and it allows them to create products and services that customers truly want. What we've learned is to be great at innovation, you need a great innovation process. This is what turns innovation from an art into a science. So, how do you conceptualize a solution that you know with high certainty will win in the marketplace? When we worked with the Bosch circular saw team, they knew that this concept, what became known as the CS20 circular saw, would win in the marketplace. Now, how did they know that this product would win? Well, it's because it had this set of features. But how did they know this is the right set of features? Because it was tied to this set of unmet needs, like minimize the likelihood that debris is thrown up into the user's face or minimize the likelihood of inadvertently moving off the cut path. Very specific instructions that we refer to as customer needs that are tied to the job the customer is trying to get done. How did we know those were the unmet needs? Our quantitative research found a segment of the population that was highly underserved along these different dimensions. And how do we know that these were the right unmet needs? We studied the entire job the customer was trying to get done and considered all the needs associated with cutting wood in a straight line. So, as you see here, to come up with solutions that you know address unmet needs, you have to know the unmet needs first. And the process actually starts by understanding the job the customer is trying to get done, the outcomes they use to measure success, determining if there's segments of people with different unmet needs in the market, targeting one of those segments, and then devising solutions that address the unmet needs in that target segment. This flips around the innovation process from coming up with ideas that you hope will address unmet needs to devising solutions that specifically address unmet customer needs. This brings predictability to the innovation process. Consider Kroll on track. They tried to enter the electronic evidence discovery market twice before applying this approach. In those first two times, they used an ideas first approach to innovation. The third time, they were confident their solution would win because it had this set of features, which were tied to this set of unmet needs, which were discovered through research, finding a segment of the population that was highly underserved. This, of course, all came about because we studied the entire job, the needs the customers had, discovering which ones are unmet, finding the segments, targeting the right unmet needs, and devising solutions that address them. With this information, we know what percent of the market is underserved. This becomes our target set of customers, our target segment. We know with high certainty that they will want this product because they are the most underserved. Let's consider a third example in the software space with Cox Automotive, who had failed in a couple of attempts to achieve their product objectives. It's the same story. They devised a set of features that were tied to a set of unmet needs that were discovered through market research after understanding at a deep level the job the customers are trying to get done and all their needs. It's the same pattern over and over again. We're not devising solutions that we hope will address the unmet needs. We're discovering the unmet needs first, and again, devising solutions we know with high certainty will address them. This, again, is what is bringing predictability to innovation. All of this is embodied in a single process that we call outcome-driven innovation. It's not cobbling together incompatible solutions to get the job done. It's a single innovation process that goes from market definition to product definition. We begin by defining the market, but not as a product or a technology, but as a group of people trying to get a job done. We define customer needs as these outcomes that customers are trying to achieve as they go about and get the job done. We define unmet needs as those needs that are highly underserved, very important to customers, but not well satisfied. We define segments as groups of people with different unmet needs. And once we discover our target market and groups of people with different unmet needs, we can devise solutions that we know will address those unmet needs. This process has been vetted over the years. It works consistently. It has an 86% success rate. It's been used by the world's most sophisticated companies in the most difficult situations to create winning products. Getting out of the ideas first mindset is really the key to success and innovation. World-class processes do exist. They do work. Adopting them is not easy, but neither is failure. As a product leader, this is a way to ensure your success. If you want to learn more, feel free to download my book at jobsbedonebook.com. Again, free audiobook, free ebook. So come join us in changing the way the world innovates.